What is the need for the sacrament of confession or the sacrament of reconciliation? In the words of Saint Isidore of Seville, confession heals, confession justifies, confession grants pardon of our sins. All hope consists in confession. In confession, there is a chance for mercy. How does the sacrament of confession heal? When we are not going for confession and when we are heaping up the load of sins within ourselves, we are going to be put down by the burden of the sin, and we are prone to many ailments and sicknesses. The sin not only damages our soul but also our body. In Psalms chapter 38 verses 3 and 4 we read, "My whole body is diseased because of my sins. They are a burden too heavy to bear. I am being drowned in the flood of my sins." So we are going to be drowned in the flood of our sins and the fruits it produces. We are going to be flooded with the guilt. We are going to be flooded with anxieties. We are going to be flooded with the feeling of rejection. I confess my sins. They fill me with anxiety. Psalms chapter 38 verses 18. When we are not going to confess our sins, we are going to be filled with anxious feelings. What is the remedy for this? Of course, the remedy is a true confession. In Psalms chapter 32 verses 5 we read, "Then I confessed my sins to you. I did not conceal my wrongdoings. I decided to confess them to you, and you forgave all my sins." So, in confession, we are being pardoned. We are being healed. How does the confession justify us? In confession, we are justified with God, not by on our own merits, but by the grace of God, by His unfathomable mercy. Confession grants pardon of sin. Our resurrected Lord appeared to his disciples and he said, "The sins of whom you forgive will be forgiven," and he gave them the authority to forgive the sins. So, in the sacrament of confession, we are going to be reconciled with God. All hope consists in confession. The psalmist says, "Lord, wash me and I will be whiter than snow." What made him to say this? Because he knew he was a sinner. He knew he had committed mortal sin, but still he had hope in the mercy of God. If he wouldn't had that hope, he wouldn't have confessed. So confession fills us with hope for another chance to be reconciled with God. Imagine if there was no sacrament of confession, then we would have left with no hope. We would have been burdened with the sense of guilt. In confession, there is a chance for mercy. In the parable of prodigal son, we are reminded of two main characters. One is the prodigal son who went away his own way, following his sinful ways, and the other important character is the character of the merciful father. The merciful father waited for the return of his son, even though his son had betrayed him, even though his son had hurted him very badly, even though his son had considered his father dead. The father always waited for the return of his son, not only during the time when he returned back, but even during the time when he was astray. This is the heart of our Father. This is the heart of our God. He is merciful. So, Make use of this beautiful sacrament of confession.